Professor Jeffers.
Hi. Gotta be honest, wasn't sure if I'd see you in the next century or two since you decided to hang out with the Fae for a while.
Oh, yeah, that was a blast. Well, what I can remember of it was very fun.
Oh, okay. Well, how are you feeling?
Actually, I feel pretty great.
Wow, you must have a liver of stone, especially since when I left, they said they were bringing out the Hobgoblin Ale.
Yeah, I don't remember anything past that.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, there's a reason why I left. And honestly, it wasn't the Hobgoblin Ale. You realize we were gone like a month.
What?
Yeah, I came back and I had to rush to get the last one out, and the sound quality got weird again. I missed having you here.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Well, it was fun. I'm just glad you enjoyed it.
I'm glad that you were able to, recover sufficiently to put out a recording.
Oh, yeah. Well, I read some more of these journal things that I found. Yeah.
Those are nice.
Yeah, it gives me something to do when we're not ready with anything else.
Yeah, and admittedly, I'm not always here.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Though, I shouldn't actually advertise that with as many people seem to be able to find my house recently.
Has this been a problem before?
No. I was in relative anonymity until this podcast. I do have a question, though.
Oh, okay. Well, we should probably go ahead and start recording then.
That's a good idea.
All right. Hello, and welcome to Cryptid Remarks. I'm Professor Edward Jeffers.
And I'm Wilma Chronicle.
And we are back, and apparently not worse for the wear for our trip to the Fae Realm.
Yeah, that was quite invigorating.
Indeed, yeah. They're always fun for a while. I definitely wouldn't want to live there because I wouldn't know when I would come back.
Well, I guess that's fair.
Yeah. So, again, sorry that we missed a recording earlier. And we do have a question that we want to get through. Actually, we do have several, but okay. So yeah, what is the first one?
Okay, this one's from Your Mama. And
what?
That's the name that was signed. I'm gonna go with she, her, because I don't have any reason not to.
I don't know. I've heard a lot of guys say "Yo Mama" before.
That's fair. Okay. Anyway.
What's the question?
I have heard about a creature called the Goat Man. Can you explain him to me? He sounds freaky.
Okay, the Goat Man.
Is the Goat Man anything like a satyr or a faun?
Well, yeah. Put the rest of the questions away. This may take a while.
Oh, okay. No worries. Here we go.
All right. So, yeah, the Goat Man. There is a long goat of goat-men or men-goats going back clear to the Greek times, starting with... actually, I think the OG goat man would probably be Pan.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But is that Greek?
Yeah, he was Greek.
Okay.
They called him the god of the wild, shepherds, flocks, rustic music, and impromptu music.
Okay.
So, kind of guy I would like to hang around with, But also, he was kind of known to be a lust figure, too.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call him a sex god or not, but I know a lot of nymphs that would.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, and he was basically just a creature that had the goat legs and the horns and the ears, and he spent a lot of time in the forest as well, and was kind of known for freaking people out with scary noises.
Oh, wow. Why?
Just because when you're in the woods and you hear scary noises, it's scary.
Okay, but I mean, was he malevolent, or was he a trickster, or did he just do it because he wanted people to leave him alone?
Well, it could be any one of those three.
Okay. Just depending on his mood?
Yeah, it depends on his mood at the time, but he did like tricking people a lot.
Okay.
But that is where the word panic comes from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was just like,
Is
being startled by...
Pan-delirium?
Possibly. A lot of Pan words that may have come from that. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
But I did know about the panic one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I bring him up because while he did have the satyrs under him, the Roman version of Pan was Faunus.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is that where the faun comes from?
Exactly, yes. Okay. The faun are kind of lesser versions of Faunus. Mm-hmm. And Faunus was the Roman god of forest, plains, fields, that sort of thing.
Sure.
And there's question on whether faun are ghosts or actual goat men. It's...
Ghosts?
Yeah, I don't know where that came from, but that is going to come into play later as well.
Okay.
So it is kind of important to mention here. Now, fawns, very like Pan, but not identical. They are two-footed, hoofed creatures with the goat legs.
Okay.
They also have the tail of a goat, and they have horns.
Okay.
But the torso and the arms of a human.
So the ears, are the ears the same?
They still have the pointy goat-like ears, yes.
Sure.
They were known for being the kind of thing that would stir fear in men that were traveling, especially to far away and wild places.
Oh, okay. So the less familiar you are with a place, the more you don't understand how things work, and then you hear something weird and panic, for lack of a better term, ensues.
Yeah, we'll freak you out.
Sure.
And that has kind of stuck with things for millennia.
Okay.
Because that sort of thing does still happen. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't really think it is the fault of the goatmen entirely.
Okay.
Now, I am sure that there are some of them that do have malicious intent.
Oh, just like any creature.
Just like any creature, yes. But the noises that they make, the innate fear that humans have of spectral creatures, all of that together can make things a little bit scary, which is why some of the later religions have ascribed a goat-like feature to some of their darker gods and demons and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah. And admittedly, the eye features, you know what I mean?
Oh, goats do have freaky eyes, but it's nothing to do with being a dark creature or evil or anything.
No.
They just have the long horizontal slitted eyes because they can see around them better that way, because goats are prey. They are not predators.
No, I get that. But I mean, sheep have the same eyes.
Right.
But for some reason on goats it looks weird. But on sheep it looks adorable.
I mean, is it an uncanny valley thing? I
Maybe.
don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah, sheep tend to be considered cute, while goats, while I think they're cute, a lot more people seem to think they're scary.
I think lately, especially the baby goat thing is kind of taken off on the internet.
Well, look at how they bounce around. I mean, how can you not think that's cute?
Somebody put them in pajamas, which I was like, that just seems unnecessary. But you know what? That's fine.
Well,
to each their own.
Putting clothing on any furred creature seems a little excessive to me, but...
Here's my theory. Maybe it's the horns. I mean, male sheep have horns, but they curl under, so it isn't as prevalent and potentially problematic. You know what I mean? Because if a ram butts you, you're going to feel it. But if a goat butts you, you have the potential of being skewered.
Skewered, yeah. I mean, I guess that does make sense, but rams can be just as deadly.
Yeah, and just as big of a jerk.
yeah, that's true. Well, anyway, we're getting off on a
way off
goat
sorry.
thing, which is fine, but it does go some distance in helping to explain things. Now,
sure.
I kind of wish I knew exactly which goat man that Yo Mama was talking about, because again, we're getting into a situation where goat men are fairly prevalent, so there are a lot of stories about them in different areas. Mm-hmm. Now, the one that just is known as the Goat Man was in Maryland.
The state of Maryland.
Yeah, the state of Maryland, Prince George's County, actually. And the theory is that it's possible that the Goat Man there has been around since the 1930s, because there were some incidents back then where dogs were turning up dead in pretty large numbers. But there was no actual official report on that until 1971. The student by the name of George Lazama wrote out a report about goat men in the University of Maryland, and wrote a report about a trucker that saw one in Clinton, Maryland. You know where that is?
Not even a little.
Okay. Not very familiar with.
Maryland's not a huge state. I'm sure finding Clinton, Maryland wouldn't be complicated. But
well, yeah, I mean, it looks small on the map, but once you get there and you're walking around, it's a lot bigger.
No, I didn't say it wasn't big enough. I just said it is comparatively speaking kind of a small state. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, even Rhode Island, walking through that will take you a bit.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
But
reported a human face on a body that was covered with hair and apparently looked a little bit like a goat. And there have been a lot of weird noises in that area.
At the time? Or still?
Well, even still, even though there haven't been any sightings. So that's why there's speculation that there are goat men still living there to this day.
So there's been essentially 2 sightings of something that can resemble a goat man, one in the 30s and one in the 70s. But because this weird sound keeps happening, people assume there's just a whole bunch of goat men kind of hanging out.
Well, I mean, there's more to it than that.
Okay.
I mean,
I certainly hope so.
There's a doctor at the Beltsville Agricultural Research Center called Stephen Fletcher that reported seeing a creature like that attacking cars.
Yikes.
In Beltsville, Maryland.
That can't be healthy for the goat man.
No, but if that is a goat man, then it's one of the more aggressive ones.
Indeed.
And maybe there is a more aggressive one there because there's also reportings of them wielding axes.
Yeah, yikes.
Which, okay, let's back that down a little bit.
Indeed.
I have never seen a goat man with an axe.
I would certainly hope not.
Now, I haven't really dealt with a lot of goat men for a long time.
At least not an axe being used for malicious reasons.
Well,
that
no. And they're
problematic.
Yeah. So then if you go to Kentucky, there's another goat man that's been reported there called the Pope Lick monster.
The what?
We'll call it the Pope Lick creature.
Pope
Lick. Pope Lick. There is a railroad trestle bridge over Pope Lick Creek in Louisville, Kentucky, in the Fisherville neighborhood of Louisville. And there have been reports of a part man, goat, sheep-like thing there, too. Now, what's interesting about this one is that it has been accused of using both hypnosis and voice mimicry to lure people onto the bridge to get killed by trains.
Oh, that is so not cool.
No, it really isn't. And honestly, I don't know about that. I mean...
Well, if you're dealing with going back to Pan, you're talking about, potentially a creature that can use essentially music type things to lure you or scare you into things. So, I mean, it sounds like if you're going off that type of goat man, it's feasible, but also not cool. Not cool at all.
No. And it is possible that it's an unfortunate side effect of maybe this goat man does sing. I don't know that there were any reports of it singing, although one of the origin stories is that particular goat man is a reincarnation of a circus freak that died near or on that trestle train.
So circus is going through on the trestle train. Some accident happens. One of the quote-unquote circus freaks dies and is reincarnated as a goat man.
That's one of the origin story theories.
Okay.
And if that actually is true, which I'll be honest, I have my doubts. That sounds a little far-fetched to me. But if that is true, that might explain why it actually can sing. Because I'm sure that a circus would have performers there that can sing too.
Well, I know, but again, going back to Pan, he can sing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, the ability to sing doesn't seem to be doesn't seem to be unusual for goat man creatures.
Probably, yeah. And honestly, it does make a little bit more sense than the other theory that I've heard, which...
This one makes more sense than the other theory you've heard.
Okay, you tell me that a farmer that tried to sacrifice goats in order to get dark powers and then got reincarnated and has been roaming that land, protecting it ever since, makes more sense than a circus freak.
Yeah, neither one of these make any sense to me, but I am not one to judge somebody else's belief system. However, okay,
Okay.
Okay.
But also,
Yes.
either one of those situations, if there's any meat at all to the whole goat men being tied to ghosts theory, it is possible that they're maybe not even reincarnations. Maybe they're just spirits of these creatures that can manifest as a goat man and are near that bridge.
Oh, okay. To me, it's like I'm not one to readily believe in ghosts, but that makes more sense to me than reincarnated dark souls that used to be farmers getting kind of hanky about the land. But yeah, each your own.
Yeah, you're probably right there. And again, this one has purportedly been seen with an axe.
Oh,
and apparently scared some people badly enough that they just jumped off the train.
Off the bridge because they were scared of something?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Okay. I mean, it's one of those questions of if you jump off the bridge, do you have a better chance of living than like either being hit by a train or a goat with an axe?
Oh, I see what you're saying. So they were scared to the bridge, a train was coming, and they jumped because squashed by a train, slashed by a goat man, or just see if you don't drown.
Right.
Yikes.
Exactly, yeah. Also, and I know you like film and stuff like that.
Sure.
There was a 16-minute long film that was made about the Poplik monster in 1988. Ron, oh man, I have trouble pronouncing German names. I've got it written down here. Ron Schildknecht.
Schildknecht?
Apparently, yes. And I don't know how readily available that is, but apparently it's out there floating around.
So you go look up Ron Schildknecht.
Schildknecht.
I'll take your word for it.
Okay, fair enough. Now let's move on to Texas.
Oh.
Because there's a couple of stories in Texas.
There's a couple of stories in Texas.
Yes. July of 1969.
Okay.
Near Lake Worth and around the Fort Worth Nature Center and Refuge, there had been sightings about a man-goat looking thing. This one in particular had long clawed fingers and was scaled, apparently.
That does not sound remotely goat-like.
I mean, honestly...
Like long fingers and scales?
Yeah, I know. And when I show you, I'm going to show you something here in a minute if I can find it real quick.
Sure.
But there was, in fact, why don't I see if I can find that right now? I thought I kept that up. Oh, well, maybe not. But there was a picture.
Some people have 1,000 tabs and some have 3. I am of the 3-tab variety.
Yeah, well, anyway, there was this picture that Alan Plaster got back then of this thing.
He took a picture.
Yes.
He took a picture.
Yeah, and basically called it a white fur ball. And looking at that picture, it was.
The picture was of a white fur ball.
Essentially, yes.
Okay.
And the picture was terrible.
No.
And it did not look like a goat man to me. But he said that basically the thing wanted to be seen, or otherwise he wouldn't have even been able to get a picture.
Wouldn't have even been able to get a really bad picture of a white fur ball with long fingers and scales.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're
and
cooking with
honestly,
grease.
I mean, a lot of creatures like that, I would assume, would want to be seen.
Really? Well, maybe they're just, want to be left alone.
Yeah. Maybe to scare people off. I don't know. It just makes sense to me.
Okay.
But, and this is interesting, and you'd be surprised how much this actually happens. But later on, like a lot later on in the 2000 aughts,
okay,
there were humans that claimed to be responsible for some of the incidents that were talked about.
Okay, but not necessarily the photograph.
No, but someone claimed that he hurled a truck tire 50 feet towards a large group of people.
Okay, hurled or rolled it?
Hurled.
A truck tire.
Yes.
That's some massive CrossFit-y stuff going on.
Yeah, and some human claimed to have actually done that.
I doubt that.
You tell me how many humans you know that can throw a truck tire that far.
I mean, just flipping a truck tire is hard enough. You gotta have those big, massive, burly dudes do that. Throwing one, that's not a thing that a human can do, in my opinion.
No, not at all. Now, something that a human could do, someone did actually claim to be the thing in the picture.
Oh, okay.
Now that, I don't know. Maybe that bit was a hoax to
I mean, you know,
capitalize
can
on
a human create a trebuchet to fling a truck tire? Sure.
Yeah, but the sightings said they saw him pick it up with his hands and just hurl it. Now, how do you make a trebuchet look like that?
I don't know. How do you make a big, white, fluffy thing with scales and long fingers? This
picture looked like someone just put a white furry blanket over them and they got a picture of that
and
made sure that the focus was off.
Yeah,
it was a bad picture. It was really bad.
Sounds like it.
But anyway, looking through things, I did find a podcast. I think it was the H2OMG podcast that had a 4-part series about the Lake Worth monster.
Okay.
So that might be worth trying to find if you're interested in learning more about that one in particular.
Interesting.
But also the old Alton Bridge, which was
Alton, Illinois.
No, Alton, Texas. We're in Denton County, Texas now.
Still in Texas.
Yes, this place is frequented by paranormal investigators.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And has had sightings of goat-like humanoid creatures, which is another link back to what we were talking about at first, where goat men or satyrs, and Pan and the fawns are all tied to ghost-like creatures.
Ghost-like creatures. Gotcha.
Yes, as well as goat-like creatures.
Gotcha.
Now, the story here was that back in 1938, now remember what this country was like back then.
Sure.
Especially
Texas.
Yeah, there was a farmer that basically got kidnapped, taken from his house by the Ku Klux Klan, lynched off of the bridge.
Oh, the Klan's an amazing...
Oh, they're amazingly something, but,
yes.
but we won't go into that.
Nope.
But
skipping right ahead.
The theory behind this particular goat man is that he is the ghost of that farmer and he's protecting his property.
Well, more power to him.
I mean, if he is, absolutely, yes. And the bridge is tiny. It's like a little one-lane bridge. And I thought I saw the picture of that. Yeah, this is the bridge here. And that was in use until 2001.
Wow.
And just to kind of describe it, this is a wooden bridge that has horizontal slats and then vertical slats for, I don't know, added support.
Yeah, it looks to be pretty... It's got, obviously, metal.
I mean, it's got some metal in it.
It's been, it was made to last. That's
yeah, well,
great.
I mean, it was made in 1884. I mean, they don't...
metal? Nice.
Yeah. So it held up for a while.
Yeah. Was it trains or just road?
I think this one was just road.
Okay.
Now, the other one, the trestle bridge that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, the one that the people jumped off of.
Yeah, that one was definitely train.
Obviously, yeah.
But
some of these old bridges used to be train bridges, and they just converted them when they moved the tracks around. That's why I was wondering.
Oh, I mean, but look at that bridge. There's no way that would support a train.
Not a modern train.
I mean, it's a one-lane bridge. With modern cars, you would have to drive up to it and honk to let people know that you were coming. Yeah. Because there's no way two vehicles are going to get on that.
No. Not even a little. But if it's built in 1800s, then you're not talking as heavy of trains as we are today. And that also could be another reason why they diverted the tracks. But again, maybe it was just for cars.
I don't know.
Or horses at that point.
Yeah. But I mean, there's all kinds of... The honking I can understand, but they also said that you do not cross that bridge with your headlights out.
Oh, well...
apparently
especially at night, that seems dangerous.
Apparently that was a KKK thing, that they would come after you with lights off until they got you,
Yeah.
And they say that if you do that now, the goat man will still appear.
Well... That seems like a great way to try and get him to show up.
Yeah.
But the bridge is gone, you said, right? Or still
there? The bridge is still there. It's just not in use anymore.
As more of a footpath, I assume, than
I would guess, yeah, something like that. Or just so many people like to come and visit it and try to tempt fate that they just leave it up because of tourism.
There's a lot of old WAC projects during World War II and the Depression.
Oh, yeah,
Franklin
yeah,
did,
I remember
that they're just like,
that.
no, this is obviously not useful for modern times, but hey, it was a really great project and it looks cool,
Yeah,
so we're just
historical
going to leave it.
significance.
Yes.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I don't really care for being around bridges that much.
Why not?
Oh, I've had a couple of bad experiences.
On bridges, with bridges, making a bridge? What are we talking about
on
here?
bridges. Well, I mean, one of them I talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Point Pleasant Bridge.
Oh, with the Mothman?
Yeah.
Jessica?
Yeah,
Sorry.
Jessica. That was not a fun time.
No.
But you know, a lot of people really just don't like it when you walk across bridges anymore.
Well, nowadays, bridges, especially old ones, are not really made for modern cars and modern speeds. And if you walk across them, then you're also sort of tempting fate at that point.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't drive. I usually walk.
No, I get that. But, it's like bicyclists, People used to bike all over the place, and now bicyclists have a really hard time on roads because cars don't want to share the road with a bicyclist. They certainly don't want to share it with a pedestrian, especially if you're going 70 miles an hour, which is why it is illegal to walk along the side of an interstate.
Oh, well. They can only stop you if you get caught. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, yeah. That took a lot of time to cover
That's
the
fair.
Goat Man.
Yeah, we'll save the other questions for another day.
Yeah, I think there might be one about ghosts in there, actually.
Are you considered ghost cryptids?
Well, we've talked about that before. They're technically creatures that haven't been proven to exist, but have been suggested.
Yeah, but is a thing that isn't corporeal a creature?
Wilma, save it for the next episode.
Okay.
We're going to talk about it then, probably, unless we get a lot more questions coming in. Which reminds me, feel free to send in your questions to cryptidremarks.com or cryptidremarks@gmail.com.
Thank you.
The .com is just our website, which is where you can find our Discord, which is another place where you can leave questions, as well as our Blue Sky account, which is profedjeffers.bsky.social. And we're also on Instagram. We do have our Facebook page still up and running, and if you want to leave a question there, you can. Also, comment on YouTube. Like and subscribe too if you're watching or listening on YouTube, and send any questions that you want. We will focus on what you want to know about.
And don't come by the house. I mean, it's just not necessary.
It really isn't necessary to do that.
Or
We've
your
had
phone
so many Post-it notes, and it's just a lot easier to use the internet. Why don't you just do that?
Yeah,
it's so much easier.
So much easier.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's about it then.
That's it. Still working on that exit salutatory thing.
I mean, sure.
I mean, we're like, what, 12, 13 episodes in, and we still haven't worked one out.
Yep. Is this 14?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I've lost track. Anyway.
I'd have to look back through.
Everybody have an awesome day.
Right. You've been listening to Cryptid Remarks. The part of Professor Edward Jeffers was played by Jeffrey Morton. The part of Wilma Chronicle was played by Kimberly Morton. All music was written by Ruben Fansler. Sound editing by Jeffrey Morton and Ruben Fansler. Our web guru is Aaron Milosic. If you have any questions you would like us to cover, contact us at cryptidremarks@gmail.com or link to our Discord through cryptidremarks.com. Thank you for listening. And don't worry, I probably don't exist either.